For someone newer into fountain pens, what are the most necessary inks that everyone should have or that are very popular? I personally am a fan of Diamine Marine, and I've been wanting to get an ink sample of X-Feather for school, but you're currently out of stock of it. Thanks and keep up the great job. Yes, I actually have a bottle of Diamine Marine right here. One of my favorite inks, for sure. Love that kind of turquoise color. So that definitely is a great choice. I have a list that just a short list that I made of things. Certainly I would love to hear comments about that as well. So Noodler's black definitely is kind of a go-to. I think that's, at the moment, that's our #1 selling ink color, period. Edges out maybe a couple others. Noodler's Liberty's Elysium is very close to that. Granted, that's our exclusive, so for us it's going to be a high seller because you can only get it from us. But even still, I'm going to plug that one because I helped design it and been selling it for years, and it's a solid blue with some permanence to it. So that one is among some of the more popular ones. But black, X-Feather, like you said, Heart of Darkness also right up there as well. I think X-Feather is definitely less popular than black and Heart of Darkness. It goes black, Heart of Darkness is after that in terms of black Noodler's inks, and then X-Feather is quite a bit lower on the list actually, because it just tends to not be as, talked about. So if you're looking for a good substitute, Heart of Darkness definitely would be a pretty good substitute for X-Feather because it also is pretty good at resisting feathering. Tends to flow a little smoother than X-Feather. X-Feather is a pretty thick ink for the most part, so I think the Heart of Darkness would be a good alternative for you. Going along the Noodler's train a little bit further, I do have a bunch of Noodlers in here, but that's because they make a lot of really interesting inks. Noodler's Apache Sunset. If you're looking for a high shading ink, ooh, that one is lovely. So that one is definitely on the list. And then Noodler's Black Swan and Australian Roses too is a really unique ink. It's a deep burgundy purple kind of color with some nice black tones to it. Really good variation in color, especially if you got any flex or stub nibs. Looks really cool. So that's it for Noodlers. Diamine's got several good ones. Marine is one of my favorites. Ancient Copper is really popular. Oxblood is really popular. I actually prefer Red Dragon to Oxblood. It's a little brighter. Matador is really good, another red, but Oxblood I think tends to be the most popular of the Diamine reds. And there's certainly other Diamines as well. I'll have to give a shout out to the Diamine Shimmertastic because a lot of people talk about that. It's a very popular color with essentially what looks like glitter in the ink. So it gets very shimmery, very shiny, very interesting when you're shading with it. So certainly pretty much any of those. Golden Sands tend to be really popular. I think Night Sky is pretty cool. There's other good ones. Shimmering Seas is pretty great. So really any of the Diamine Shimmertastics are interesting, whatever tends to kind of strike your fancy. Going along with the shimmering inks, Herbin has a couple of really interesting ones. Emerald Chivor and Rouge Hematite definitely are the most popular. Stormy Gray was also very popular when it came out. So that one is a very interesting gray, which you could fit on there. So any of those, those tend to be the most standoutish of the Herbins. But I would also say, the Herbin, honestly, the Pearl Noir, the black one is really interesting too. Not one of the more popular ones, but as far as blacks that are easy to clean, flows nicely, that one would certainly be in there. And then Eclat de Saphir is really good as well. It's a very bright, vibrant ink. I didn't dare put Bay State Blue as one of the ones that like everyone should use or everyone should have. I think everyone should try that, because it's a very interesting color. But just be aware it cleans up with bleach, so don't use that in a pen that you change colors a lot in because it's kind of a pain to clean out. But anyway, that one's kind of on the list. Pilot Iroshizuku makes some really good ones as well. A lot of the colors are really good, nice, easy maintenance. They're a little more premium, but very interesting. Kon-Peki is my favorite. Asa-Gao is really popular too, and then Yama-Budo is a really interesting kind of magenta ink. So I think those are probably pretty up there as far as my tops. There's definitely a lot of others. I know I left some off this list. I could name you like 40 inks easily, but I'll just try to keep it as brief as possible here. But those are some of the kind of the more standoutish ones, not in any particular order whatsoever there, but I thought that would be an interesting list. So I'd love to hear kind of what are some of the other ones that you have. So